paradise. Look at a whale. Serve a mission.
Wait, what did you say?
I submitted my papers this morning.
Then eternity with Mr. Right. No, not that guy. Yeah, that's him. And he's so right. He's totally down with my plan.
How do you know that he's not planning some sort of romantic gesture to try to get you to stay?
Bree, Christine Carrington, will you marry me?
Of course I will.
Give it up for the newly engaged couple.
Tice, what happened to the plan?
You happened. You changed everything.
What'd your mom say?
Aloha, Bree. Is there something you'd like to tell us?
It just feels right.
Nothing would make me happier than if you gave me your blessing to marry her.
I appreciate you asking me.
Fun family photo wall in there.
It's my ex-girlfriend's family. I sent her a Dear Jane letter.
Okay.
Our parents trusted us. I guess we gotta trust them.
I love you.
I love you too.
Let's plan the heck out of this thing.
All right, girls, try this on. Yes, Bree. You're adorable. Lane, I'm obsessed. Who goes to a club for their bachelorette party?
Literally everyone.
I thought camp was complicated. You told me this was over.
It is. She just wants closure.
Yeah, I know what she wants, but what do you want? Why is everything falling apart? This is supposed to be the best time of my life.
Who told you that?
Movies, Instagram, everyone.
I started sending you a note.
The engagement period is the most chaotic, cathartic, romantic time of your life. It's a trial time that God gives us to really test out our relationship before we make the biggest commitment of our lives.
I get to see you again.
Reception lines are a little archaic.
No reception line. Are we cave people?
Oh my goodness. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Jenny Noonan-Dye, and we are live talking with some of the creators and stars of a brand new movie, Once I Was Engaged. We'd love to hear from you, where you are, where you're watching from. Please leave a comment and let us know. I mean, gosh, this is so exciting. Once I Was Engaged, if you just watched that trailer, I'm guessing a lot of the characters are familiar to you from a movie that came out about 6 years ago, Once I Was a BEEHIVE. So joining us tonight are McLean Nelson, Haley Smith, and Lisa Valentine Clark. Welcome, all three of you. Thank you.
Hey. Thanks for having all of us.
Before we talk, can you all just give a brief kind of explanation of your own roles in this production? Because there are many.
Yes, absolutely. Lisa, why don't you start?
Well, I play Carrie Carrington, and I'm the mother of the bride. So, and Once I Was Engaged, when Bree Carrington gets engaged and I finally find out, I go overboard with my reactions, good and bad, and help to create the perfect wedding.
I don't know if it's overboard having been the mother of a bride, but still, you do a great job.
Thank you.
Welcome.
That's what Carrie would say. She does just what you're supposed to do.
Awesome. Haley?
Yeah, I'm Haley Smith, and I play Holly Valentine in the movie. I guess I'm like Carrie's best friend and help her out with all her crazy schemes. And then I'm also a producer on the movie, so it's great to be here. Thanks.
Yes, and Lisa's a producer too. She's very humble about it. She doesn't talk about it much, but she's also a producer. And I'm a producer as well, but I also wrote the script and I co-directed it with Steve Shimmick. So, writer, director, producer, and I do have a cameo in the movie as the nerdy beach guy.
Spoiler. Spoiler.
That's not spoiler.
It's in the trailer.
Oh my goodness, I love it. This is so great. So for those who are familiar with Once I Was a BEEHIVE, this is would you say it's a sequel? Is it technically a sequel? Have you guys started a new series? I guess is the question of the day.
You know, it's kind of a little bit more of like in the universe. It's not necessarily a sequel because we're following a different lead character. In the first one, we followed Lane and her journey to camp. This time, we actually follow Bree, who was the young women's president, the Laurel president, as she goes on to BYU Hawaii, getting ready to go on her mission, and then gets kind of the question popped. So yes, it's in the same. It's technically not a exact sequel, you know what I mean, because it is a whole different kind of story, but it's the same characters. You don't have to know the first movie to enjoy the second one.
I think that's what's so fun about it, is that if you saw the first one and you liked it, you'll get a lot out of it. You know, there's some fun like little callbacks and stuff that you'll pick up on. But if you're like, oh, I never saw the first one, you know, all my friends are going to the theater, should we go see it? You can go see it without having done it, and it will be really enjoyable, because even if you're not familiar with you know, our particular culture, it doesn't matter, because everybody knows somebody who's gotten married or planned a wedding, or has an intense mother or mother-in-law that planned a wedding, and can relate to all the different characters and the relationships and the planning and really like the heart-wrenching decision making it is when you're a young adult trying to figure out what you want your life to be.
Sure. Yeah. Very relatable on many, many levels. That's for sure. So where did the idea come from then to take, you know, what was a very successful, I mean, I can't say enough about how much we loved BEEHIVE, to take that and to then move forward. But like you said, McLean, in a different way, where it's not following Lane, but it's following Bree. Where did that idea come from?
Well, we always thought that how fun would it be to do like an engagement / wedding story, and we thought it would be, you know, and we could have done it in a different world, a whole new, but because we created these characters and people related to them so much, one day we were kind of like, well, why don't we just keep it in the same universe? And it didn't really make sense to have Lane get engaged, because she is, you know, wasn't a member of the LDS church, and she probably would not have gotten engaged that early.
Sure.
So we're like, but Bree seems like the type that, you know, kind of would be in this kind of decision-making realm between college, mission, and marriage. And so it felt better to follow her. And also because Lisa's character, Carrie Carrington, was so successful, we wanted to see that character. If she built an arc for her young women, what's she going to build for, you know, her daughter's wedding? And that was a very fun.
Yeah, that just seemed like a really natural leap to see Carrie Carrington as a mother of the bride from planning camp. So, yeah.
Because all the planning that definitely goes into that. Speaking of that, you know, you mentioned that a story focusing on Lane's trajectory wouldn't necessarily involve such a young engagement, or the kind of stereotypical, for a reason, path of deciding between an engagement, a mission, that sort of thing. How do you navigate as writers, as producers, making a movie about a very unique culture, that of, you know, Mormons, or, you know what I mean, and making that accessible to a wider audience? Because I think that you do a great job of it. I'm also biased because I do understand all the references. So how do you navigate that?
That's a really good question. I hadn't really thought about that, but I think, like, for the three of us, we have a lot of life experience and a lot of friends both in and out of the culture. So this is the world that we just live in anyway, you know, and I grew up as like one of the only, you know, members. So I was used to seeing it kind of as an outsider in order to connect with other people. And then I think being here, and because we love our culture, you know, certain aspects of it so much, and we love the characters that we have created so much, that we wanted to honor them in a good way and highlight that, so that maybe people who aren't as familiar, you know, see it in a positive light. And for those who are, you know, we also aren't afraid to like laugh at ourselves. But I think for the three of us, it's very natural, because, you know, because we associate ourselves and some of the people that we love the most in this world, it are just in and out, and we're raised in this culture and weren't raised in, like, it's just how you live your life.
I also have the added bonus of my wife, Claire Niederprum, helps me to know what stuff feels too inside and what stuff feels normal, because she is not a member of the church. She grew up Catholic, you know, she's very Christian, very, you know, believing person, but she'll tell me when this is too much inside, this is not enough, and so that, you know, just kind of running it by other people in our life. And that's we really want everything we do to feel real. And I think that's even when we're poking a little bit of fun, you can always tell we love our characters and that it comes from a place of reality and truth. I think that's where the comedy comes the most. So when we're playing things more real, it helps us. It helps just accentuate kind of the fun parts of the culture, not make anyone feel like they're being preached to, because we all know how to be normal towards our friends and family.
We want to be inclusive because we just want to invite everyone in on the party. Like it's no fun trying to exclude anybody from that. That's just and also that's just not our personality.
Yeah.
Everyone's welcome.
Everyone's welcome.
Well, I think you do a great job at it, at not only navigating, building those bridges of making it more inclusive through the dialogue and explanations and that sort of thing, but also, Lisa, you mentioned laughing at ourselves, but doing it in a way that doesn't sacrifice our dignity. I think it's really important that way because it's important for all of us to laugh at ourselves and even, our own quirks and idiosyncrasies. And you guys do a really great job with that in these films, where it's funny and it remains sincere. So now you mentioned before, McLean, that you have a cameo in this, and we have a clip here. There are many familiar faces that people will recognize, and so I'm going to ask John here to pull up one of those where many of you may recognize a familiar face in this clip.
Great.
I knew you were the one.
Don't say anything. Just follow my lead. Be cool.
What is happening?
Stassi. Oh, that's so beautiful. Is it French?
No, it's just Stacy. It's American.
It's very regal. Listen, I have a coupon from a competitor. Will you honor it?
This expired 2 years ago.
That's not going to be a problem, though, right?
Amy? Okay. What are your wedding colors?
Okay, I'm so glad you asked. How much time do you have right now?
Started sending you a
And for those of you who are like, wait a second, I know that guy. That's Stacey Harkey, of course, from Studio C. And what's the?
JK Studios.
Yeah, JK Studios. And he's so great. That's really cool that he is in your film with you. There are many brilliant cameos in this film, and I'm not going to give any more spoilers. You're just going to want to go see it. Again, for those of you who are just joining us, we are talking with McLean Nelson, Haley Smith, and Lisa Valentine Clark about the new film, newly released, Once I Was Engaged. So again, if you're just joining us, we'd love to hear where you're watching from. Leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know how you liked Once I Was a Beehive, and if you've got any questions. One thing that I kind of want to address, because I'm guessing people are wondering, is this film just came out this week, July 2021. So is this a film that you shot before COVID, before the pandemic, after? Was this really quick? Well, I guess we're kind of still in it. Or during? Like, how did you make that work?
So we actually shot this during the height of the pandemic. We kind of waited to work on this project for a long time, and for whatever reason, everything fell into place back in the fall during the pandemic, and that's when we had to do it. And we were very safe. We had lots of protocols. We wore masks. We had testing, COVID testing every day. We were 6 feet apart. We had the masks on until it was time to roll, and that's just we followed all the rules, and we were able to do it. And it was, we really saw a lot of just miracles by filming in that world. And I know McLean's talked about this before, but it really kind of forces you to up your game, like creatively, because you just are always ready for something to go wrong. And so you just have all these plans, A, B, C, D, E, F, G in the back of your mind in case, like someone gets sick or, something happens and we have to quickly finish. So it was quite a challenge, but I think it enhanced the final product.
Yeah, it was definitely a silver lining, especially, well, some of us didn't have any work during the pandemic because things shut down. So it was like a time where, okay, we can wait, or we can try to put something together. And, we put together a little budget, and we scrimped and saved, and we did something, rather than, so it was like a bit of a silver lining in a very hard time.
Well, and it's a good testament to McLean as a fearless leader, because we all had to make a real pact with each other of like, okay, just stay in your homes. You can't be with family, with friends, with anybody if we're going to be in this bubble and test every day and be 6 feet apart. If we're going to all take these precautions, then you have to be extra careful, and everybody wanted to do it so badly that they gave up going home for Thanksgiving, or they gave up, all the things that, they might have chosen otherwise in order to stay safe and to stay isolated. So
that is it's a huge and a very special commitment. I mean, we all know the kind of challenges that brings, and the fact that you were all so committed and driven just speaks a lot to your own strengths. And like you said, Lisa, McLean's, being a fearless leader and insisting on all that, but all of you as participants in all of your roles, it really is a sacrifice that it sounds like you all did pretty willingly to make this happen.
Yeah, we wanted to have fun. We wanted to create something that would, bring so much happiness to everybody. Like, we were like, we need to laugh. Doesn't everyone need to laugh? And,
well, yeah, and just to create something in such a hard year, it's like just to everyone. I mean, I don't know, a lot of artists everywhere. You just felt even more this just need to create something. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you did a great job. I mean, just as an aside, John and I were on set for one of the days, and I was so impressed, and also just, it was almost eerie, but in a really special way, if that makes sense, that the desire to want to backstage and offstage while waiting to socialize, but it was like, no, like that is not the most important thing right now. It's more important to be safe, to keep everyone else safe. And I mean, bravo to all of you for really getting it done, because I know that COVID has kind of undone so many projects. And I think it speaks really highly of you all to have committed yourselves to the practices and standards that needed to happen to make this happen and to create it. So,
and everybody really came together. I mean, think about like Stacy. Stacy didn't need to do our little movie. He's like, we've developed a relationship over the years, and he's like one of those guys we called him and he said, of course. And it's because he wanted to work with Lisa. You know what I mean? Like,
we have fun.
We have fun, and we've created like a community of people that we trust and love, and it's nice because they have our backs and we have theirs.
I love it. That's so great. So today, as of today, Once I Was Engaged is playing in theaters. When you go to the website, onceIWasEngaged.com, there is a little tab there that you can click on, and it says buy tickets now. And then you can scroll down and you will find all the areas where it's playing. Now, McLean, did you tell me the other day that that list will expand in the next couple of weeks?
Yes, but it is kind of depending on how well it does kind of locally in Utah and the Arizona, Idaho, Nevada. We have those areas booked. But if it does well, that's when the theaters say, okay, this little movie has some legs. We want to bring it further out. So yes, that's the plan, to roll it out, but it's also dependent on whether or not the fans really, get behind it, go out and see it early, so that early on in the run, so that they know, okay, this is gonna have some legs. People are gonna want to see that. We want to open it in our town outside of the Intermountain West and
yeah.
especially the belt, as they call it.
Yeah, and especially with BEEHIVE having been on Netflix, I mean, the potential reach there is huge. And so, we say this a lot in these broadcasts that we do, talking about films, how important it is to go see it, to support these kinds of projects in the theater as soon as they open, because those numbers, like McLean said, are what determine the longevity in the theaters of the project. So as you can see here, what we're showing you is exactly exactly what we talked about, going to the website, buy tickets now, and scrolling down, you can see American Fork, Bountiful, Draper, Farmington, all these places where you can look to get tickets. And you know what? It's hot outside. I think the idea of maybe taking an afternoon with your, sunburned, crisp red skin that maybe you or some of your kids, I don't know, I could be projecting, have, and just sitting in a cool, dark theater for a few hours and laughing might be exactly the right thing for your family, this perfect summer activity. And it really is enjoyable for all ages, and in a way that is smart. We always enjoy smart comedy, and that's what this is. It doesn't sacrifice intelligence to get the laugh, and that's really appreciated from the audience. What if there's one thing that you want people to know about the film in general, or your experiences with the film? What would you say? What would you want people to know?
I would say I want people to know that you're just gonna have a blast watching this movie. Bring friends, like you will. It's just fun, Like we really want it to be super fun. We got the funniest actors in Utah. We added to the already very fun cast 2 amazing comedic actors. Bart Johnson, who was in High School Musical as Coach Bolton. He plays Kurt Carrington, Carrie's husband. And just to imagine, if you know that character at all, to imagine who is this guy that can be married to this, can deal and with this amazingly intense person. Bart's like the perfect counterpart. And we want people to see that. Tanner Gilman as the fiance is such a hilarious actor, and he's in Studio C, but he's also an amazing he's straight actor and really good at the drama and not just the comedy, but it's just we sat at the premiere and we just listened to people roar and all, so we just want people to have that energy, have that experience of that kind of party that this movie is, and and ride this roller coaster ride with us. So
yeah, and I would also say 2 things that jump into my mind. We filmed in Hawaii, and it is gorgeous. If you just want to see some of the most beautiful shots you've ever seen in a movie, I mean, we captured some real Hawaii magic, and it is so beautiful. It's such a great setting. So fun to see that. And also the soundtrack is so great.
So good.
Tiffany Alvord is in the movie. She's an artist, an LDS artist, and she also plays a role in the movie, and she has a couple songs in it. And just all of the music is just perfect and just perfectly selected for it. It's great.
Not a lot of movies come along that you can grab your kids, your girlfriends, your husband, your friends all together to go to watch together, and you're all going to laugh and you're all going to get something out of it. It doesn't come along very often. It's just and so this is that movie. We've been waiting for a long time to be able to have it safe to go into theaters. So go see it in the theaters and just take everybody and laugh, because it's time. It is. I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can feel it. It's palpable.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That's so wonderful. I love that you guys did this. I love how you guys did this. I want to invite everyone again, remind you to go to onceiwasengaged.com, click on buy tickets and scroll down, and just like Lisa said, take your buddies, have it be a girls' night, take your kids, whatever you need to do. Go by yourself. Treat yourself. Go out there and just enjoy a movie by yourself if you like. And for those, we have people watching in Alaska, in Texas, I kind of saw Georgia. For those people, go to your local theaters and request this movie. Request Once I Was Engaged. Also, you should know that on their social media channels, which the handle is at Once I Was Engaged, they're very responsive and involved. And so if you have a question, if you are wanting some further information or anything along those lines, just go ahead and tag them or send them a message, and I'm sure that someone will get back to you. So once again, thank you all for joining us tonight to discuss this great new movie, Once I Was Engaged. Thank you to McLean, to Haley, and to Lisa for all that you do, and just to send us out. And thank you to John Dye, of course, I need to say, for producing this. He's the one who's responsible for all that you're seeing on your screen as we've done this broadcast. We are going to close out this interview with one more short from the movie. This is the dress buying scene, I think with Lucas even. So thanks again for joining us, and we'll talk again soon.
Great.
Okay.
You were the one.
It fits perfectly.
Right? In some parts. Holy Meghan Markle, I think this is it. When you smile, don't use so much gum. You know how you can get.
All that lace, you know you're gonna snag.
If you don't like my opinion, then I don't have to give it.
I want to wear any. I'm not going to go to the wedding.